my song. Let's sing it. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Come on, it's gonna be fucking awesome. You know the words. It's gonna be fucking awesome. That's it, see. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Yeah!
Hiya, everybody. It is I, Jesse Blaze Snider, the coolest geek alive, and I'm coming at you with the continuing saga of this whole fucking Superman versus Fantastic Four, now versus Jurassic Park shit. Because there is a narrative, a very clear narrative that they want you all to come away with. These are things. I dig very deep when it comes to box office numbers and whatnot. One of my best friends, Digger, he doesn't necessarily dig as deeply as I do. So often he will hit me with sort of the mainstream feelings, like, "Oh, looks like Fantastic Four's beating Superman," and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, is that true?" And then I'll look into it further, and then I'll hit him back. I'll be like, not so simple. Superman is actually handily beating Fantastic Four. They got a little bit lucky with their Thursday nights, which it was close enough where Disney could have spent money on those Thursday nights to fuck Superman over to make it look like Superman wasn't going to do as good, even though Superman has gone on to do better. A lot of this is the framing. Marvel is in good graces with the access media. DC's not in good graces with the access media because David Zaslav's considered an outsider, white cis male. I hate that term. Consider that a slur. But these are like the stupid ways in which these things are being framed. And then same thing with James Gunn and Peter Safran, who've been brought in, replacing, I think it was Jennifer Sulky, who had been running the DC Films thing and wanted to give us a trinity of Wonder Woman, Batgirl, and Supergirl. David Zaslav came in, got rid of them, and brought in two white guys to run the DC program. And this decision has left the access media attempting to fucking minimize Superman during this entire release of the movie. I've got all sorts of numbers pulled up right here, or right now, I should say. But if we look at all three of the movies, like this morning, I did. I'm not going to be able to pull it all up. All right, hopefully I'll be able to pull it all up. I did an analysis of the three flicks: Superman, Fantastic Four, and Jurassic Park. So, according to the numbers, for the first 11 days, 11 days for Fantastic Four, that's all we have so far is 11 days. I think it's been out for 13 days, but like actually confirmed box office numbers for Fantastic Four, we only have 11. So taking the first 11 days for Fantastic Four, taking the first 11 days for Superman is an easy comparison because they open similarly. Jurassic World, we kind of got to look at the first 13 days because it opened on a holiday weekend, so it's got a Wednesday and a Thursday added into this thing. But based on what I've been hearing, based on what most people have been hearing, we should be seeing Superman at the bottom of this totem pole, and we should see Jurassic World Rebirth at the top. Well, according to this, Jurassic World Rebirth, which has been open for a little bit longer, it is at, if you only take in the 11 days, it's made $228 million. If you tape in the full 13, because like I said, it had that first Wednesday and Thursday, it's made 237. Well, just looking at 11 for Superman, it's made 241.8. So it is beating it domestically, even with the extra holiday weekend, extra 2 days of the holiday weekend, giving it, like an extra $10 million. It's still a few million ahead. But meanwhile, if you want to listen to some of these articles, it's like, oh, the Jurassic Park franchise is going to go on, but Superman and Fantastic Four are not really doing so good. Meanwhile, Fantastic Four first 11 days is 201 million domestic. 201 million domestic versus 241. So $40 million more to Superman so far. And Jurassic Park, it's got like $3 or $4 million on top of that. And Superman's still going. Superman's got more time to go. It's going to do even better. Now, I find this interesting. One, for me, I've seen all three of these movies. Arguably, I like Jurassic World Rebirth the most. I hated the end, but it was just right up the middle. Lots of deaths, lots of exciting dinosaur stuff. And really, genuinely, I enjoyed it. Superman and Fantastic Four, I enjoyed as well, but maybe not quite as much as I enjoyed Jurassic Park. But what does this say? What does this say that we're going out of our way to praise Jurassic Park as being so far ahead of it, and praise Fantastic Four as being ahead of it because, its initial Thursday night preview was bigger than Superman's Thursday night preview? Now, there's a little bit of argument, and I mean a little bit being more than a little bit, when you take into consideration what's going on with Jurassic Park in terms of the international box office. And I'll explain that in 1 second. Jurassic World Rebirth, in the first 3 days, you have a global total of 648 million versus Superman's 11 days is 555. So it's a little bit ahead. I don't know if it's releasing in more locations, countries and stuff, but internationally that is a big jump. However, there's a nuanced conversation here. I mean, domestically, Superman's doing better. By the end of the run, it will have done much better. By the end of the run internationally, Jurassic World will have done much better internationally than Superman did. And Fantastic Four's got a little bit of this thing where their domestic, their international seemed like it was doing a little bit better. It doesn't seem to be. Global total for Fantastic Four is 369 million. So there's some argument here just on the international front, but not at all on the domestic front. And this is it seems just crazier to me because when you start to get into something as simple as the Jurassic Park franchise in general. So, okay, we're looking at Jurassic Park, and it's fighting with Superman for superiority. And by saying it's beating Superman, it's basically giving the pat on the back for what it's doing to Superman. I'm sorry, to Jurassic Park and to the Jurassic Park franchise. But let's look at that, because that's weird, right? If you look at Jurassic Park Rebirth in relation to all of these other movies, well, Jurassic Park Rebirth still probably got a few weeks left of its thing. So let's say its domestic still going to go up. Maybe right now it's at 318 total. So let's say it goes up to 350, and its internationals at 450 almost. And maybe that could even go up to 500. Okay. So if it was 500 and 350, we'd end up with like an 850 worldwide number here. Well, as it turns out, when you get into all of these other movies, these in the Jurassic World thing, right? Jurassic Park 3 and The Lost World and the original Jurassic Park made 357 million domestically. Okay. So Jurassic World Rebirth is almost at that 357. If it only makes 350, it'll fall beneath that original Jurassic Park. Well, the original Jurassic Park and the immediate sequels, those are number 4, 5, and 6 on its gross list. Okay, granted, the international box office, whatever. We're going to look at that in a second. So I'll just make it really easy here. I'm going to pull up the original Jurassic Park, and we're going to look at the domestic gross. Right now, we're at 318 for Rebirth, and the gross for original Jurassic Park's 357. Granted, it's a lot more than that because of inflation. And then worldwide, it was 978 million worldwide. Internationally, it made 621, and internationally, this one right now is only made 449. But remember, like I said, it's only 4 on the list, so it's not going to do better than 4. So maybe it's going to get somewhere in this Lost World Jurassic Park, the 5th highest grossing of the 7 movies that have been made. But the most recent movies they made, Jurassic World Dominion. Let's look at that. Jurassic World Dominion, that's the 3rd highest grossing. It grossed $376 million. This was just 2-3 years ago. Okay, are we going to get to $376 million? I don't think so. Internationally, it made $625 million, and right now internationally we only have $449 million from Rebirth. So it went on to make $1 billion. Will Jurassic Park Rebirth do this? No. Okay, what about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom has grossed 417, so now we're getting even higher. We're at 318. We're 100 million away from the the Fallen Kingdom, and Fallen Kingdom is 2018, so we're a little further away. The most recent one handily beat it at 375 or whatever it is, but then 417. And then 890 is for the international, for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. They made $1.3 billion on this movie. And then finally, Jurassic World, which just came out. When did it come out? Just came out in 2015. It made $1.5 billion, 652 million domestically, and $1 billion internationally. So this movie, I don't know, the way it was being talked about, Jurassic World Rebirth and Scarlett Johansson, all the thing, like, you at least thought this was going to be like a restart, a way for them to like hit the button again, get it going. All 3 of the more recent Jurassic Worlds, they all beat the original 3 Jurassic Parks. Granted, with inflation, the original 3 Jurassic Parks, I'm sure probably all 3 of them probably beat it. But minus inflation, Jurassic World has handily gotten ahead of Jurassic Park every single time. This one will not. Jurassic World Rebirth will not. It will not beat the original Jurassic Park at the box office without inflation. And it's not going to beat any of the 3 Jurassic World movies that they've made in the past 10 years. There's been 3 of them, and they have all made $1 billion. Let me just make sure that that's right. I believe that's right. They've all made $1 billion, including Dominion. Yeah, Dominion made just over $1 billion. So, this is going to peter out somewhere around 800,000. Now, similarly, the Superman movie, which is like, we're like trouncing it or whatever, it's got 2 more weeks. It should probably be able to get pretty close to 400 million domestic, 300 million internationally, and it'll end up around 700 million worldwide. It'll end up with 100 million less than Jurassic Park because of the international box office being so powerful. However, it should end up, 30 to 40 million ahead of Jurassic World Rebirth domestically by itself. And yet, the conversation about this Jurassic World movie hasn't been that it's the worst performing Jurassic World, period. It's the single worst Jurassic World that has come out in the past 10 years. Single worst performing one. And they're talking about how it's doing so much better. And generally speaking, it's losing domestically. It's doing decently internationally. But you would think the fact that like there would be some acknowledgement that domestically, where all these articles, these trade articles and entertainment magazine, website, articles are being posted, that we care more about Superman than we care about Jurassic World by a little bit. And it's not like they're talking about them all like they've all done bad. Fantastic Four did bad. Superman did bad. Jurassic World Rebirth did bad. Like, it's funny. They've been so, like, hands-offish. They want to make it seem like Superman did bad. So then they rallied to figure out how to make Fantastic Four do marginally better at the beginning. And then when Fantastic Four falls off, essentially you're admitting defeat because you made Superman look bad to begin with. And if we're going to make Superman look bad, we got to make all of this shit look bad, because Jurassic World Rebirth is the least successful in the Jurassic World franchise, period. And if you're going to take something else into consideration, which I think we definitely should, which would be, how is Superman doing compared to Man of Steel? So Man of Steel came out in 2013. It was released in 4,207 theaters. We opened in 4,135 theaters for this new Superman, and I guess it got wider. It became a 4,275 theater release. This Superman isn't done grossing. He's not done yet. So far, he's made $317 million over Man of Steel's $291 million. Internationally, Man of Steel did a little bit better than Superman did. Internationally, Superman has 237 right now, and I think we said maybe it'll get as high as 300, maybe. But they had 379 million worldwide. So this actually is making me wonder a lot about different things internationally, worldwide. Like, was our distribution better more recently? Like, it's a pretty significant hit for the Rebirth, the Jurassic Park movies, Superman. Rebirth is doing pretty good internationally, but compared to some of the other Jurassic World movies, they've done better as well. So maybe the international market is getting a little, fugazi. I put in earlier what would be the inflation change for Man of Steel to this Superman. And Man of Steel at the time was considered, a success. So Man of Steel at 291 domestically in 2013 would become 388 million with inflation today. So 388 million, and domestic for this James Gunn Superman is 317 right now, and it's got at least another month of coming out, and I think it could probably easily get to 400 million. So will it hit 388 million as Man of Steel did? Yeah, most likely. Most likely, this will be a little less successful than Man of Steel was, or a little more successful than Man of Steel was. And if it's going to be a little less, it'll be really a little less. Well, the international market may play a little bit of something into that. So we will say that Man of Steel looks like it did do a bit better internationally. Like I said, 379 versus right now we got 237. Even if we got that up to 300 or something like that, we'd still be pretty significant back on that level. But at least domestically, this Superman movie is more successful than Man of Steel, or just as successful. And I think Man of Steel at the time, it had hype. It was pushed. There was no argument about whether or not Superman was going to be fucking successful. People were interested in seeing it. It ended up being a real mixed bag, like the Star Wars movies were. People saw the Star Wars movies, and then we left going, oh, God, I hated that, or I kind of liked it, I guess. It was a total mixed, critical whatever after you saw it. This time around, it was a mixed, critical whatever before you saw it, and then it's come out, and even with no media hype and them trying to fucking bury it and make it look bad and all this shit, it's still going to come in alongside the Man of Steel in terms of its box office. And just to put that into some proper perspective for you, because it's easy to just be like, oh, well, how that universe didn't last, how good is that? Well, yeah, but Man of Steel was like the next most successful, just after the first, really known to be non-successful, which was the Justice League movie, which is number 6. But if we go over to the top lifetime grosses of these things, hold on a second, my babies are calling me. Hey, babies, I got to call you back. I'm doing my podcast, but I'll call you back when I'm done with it. I love you. Bye-bye. So, looking at the top, this is before James Gunn, before Peter Safran. This is the top grossing DC movies. Number 1 is Wonder Woman, which domestically made $412 million. Great job. Okay. And again, Man of Steel, which came out earlier, it would be up to 388. So it would actually be number 2 on this list. Granted, if we did the inflation for some of the other ones, they would probably get bumped up and stuff like that. So it would mess with this thing. But the top 5 here are all, were all considered at the time big successes. Aquaman is at number 2 with $335 million. Superman is on our list right now. The current Superman's only made $317. Granted, with inflation, there's probably some adjustment. But I'm telling you, this Superman movie is in the upper echelons of the top 5 DC Extended Universe films. Number 3 was Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which is $330 million. Then $325 million is Suicide Squad. And then $291 million was Man of Steel. So, and even if we put it the 388 or whatever, this Superman movie is going to be within that realm. And yet, I don't know. Is it just more fun to talk about this in terms of like, dinosaurs munch on Superman's lunch? Because that's like a funny headline. It's a much more nuanced picture of like who's eating whose lunch. This Jurassic Park franchise is diminishing returns. I really like this Jurassic Park movie. I like this Jurassic Park movie better than I like the last 3. Those last 3 have done significantly better at the box office than the others. And somebody said the other day, like, why do we care? Why do we care what it does at the box office? There's like some like big news pundit or whatever. And it's not that we care what the things do at the box office. It's that you care. The industry cares. All of these trade magazines and websites that are going to frame different things in different ways because of the box office numbers, or are going to try to rejigger some of the box office numbers in one way or another to make it appear like things are stronger or healthier or weaker than they are. Whatever it is that you want to do for your article at any given moment, it seems like that's what you're going to do ultimately. Framing this whole box office right now as Superman kind of struggles, and then Fantastic Four comes along to kick some ass, but then falls below Superman, struggling even worse. And Jurassic Park's kicking both their asses, even though it's struggling against its own franchise in major ways. I'm just, it's really funny to me. Because, like, let's reframe everything the right way, right? and we'll say, well, you know what? Even before I frame everything the right way, I'll pull up a list of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, right? Because we've got, like, let's look at this too. In the past 3 months or whatever, we've had 3 Marvel films come out. We've had Captain America, Brave New World, Thunderbolts, and the Fantastic Four First Steps. Well, Fantastic Four First Steps still has, some more juice in the bit. But if you go to Box Office Mojo right now and you look at their list, and it's so misleading, this list, because the inflation thing really changes stuff. And you've got the original Thor and the original Ant-Man, the original Captain America, the First Avengers. They're at 32 and 33 and 34 on Marvel's list. They only made $181 million. They made significantly more than that. And then, these more recent movies, they're making more money per ticket, but they don't have as many butts in the seats. Well, at number 29, number 28, 29, and 30 here on this list is Fantastic Four First Steps, Captain America Brave New World, and Thunderbolts. Now, Fantastic Four First Steps is $201 million. It's going to go up from there, and we'll talk about that in a second. 29, Captain America Brave New World. That's not going to go up. It's $200 million. So it's going to stop at 29 on this list, the 29th highest grossing of all the films. And by the way, there's only 37. The 37th is the Marvels, which made $84 million, which is by far the smallest. And then it's the Incredible Hulk, which, if you put in the inflation, that would be huge. The Eternals, which doesn't get too much out of inflation, it maybe gets up to like 200,000. It gets enough to beat Captain America Brave New World, I'll tell you that much. But Thunderbolts is at 30 and it's at 190. So 190 million, and Captain America Brave New World. And everything beneath this, for the most part, will break it. So 29 and 30, Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts, 190 and 200 million, okay? Directly underneath that's Black Widow. It's got 183, but that was in 2021. The little bit of inflation that we could put into Black Widow there, I think would be just enough to beat Captain America and Thunderbolts. Probably more than just enough. Then we've got Thor, 181 million, but that came out in 2011. The inflation on that is going to fucking put it to shame. Ant-Man came out in 2015. The inflation on its 180 would put all these things to shame. Ant-Man, the inflation on that. Captain America, the First Avenger, 176, inflate that. Incredible Hulk, 134 in 2008, inflate that. All of those numbers destroy their latest Captain America movie and Thunderbolts. Destroy them. The only one that will, and Eternals will just barely beat Captain America and Thunderbolts with taking into consideration inflation from 2021, which isn't very long ago. The only one that doesn't is Marvel's. The Marvels. So looking at this list, 37, 36 is really Thunderbolts. 35 is really Captain America Brave New World. 34 is really Eternals. And then maybe it's Incredible Hulk, Captain America, blah, 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 blah. And I mean, when you start to get into this inflation thing, Fantastic Four is going to end up somewhere in this realm. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania handily beat all of these movies right now with 214 million. I think Fantastic Four First Steps will definitely beat Quantumania. Granted, you add in the inflation, and it's actually going to be having a hard time beating Quantumania. Ant-Man and the Wasp is only a little bit more, but a little bit older. You add in that inflation. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings at 224. Like, I don't believe that Fantastic Four is going to do much better than Shang-Chi, which was considered a big fucking disappointment at the time. They were not happy with those numbers. They're trying to recapitulate, change the minds and hearts of like what people think is a big deal with these numbers. And the inflation, the ticket prices have gone up so high that for your average person, when you hear some of these opening weekend numbers, you're like, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Except half as many people went to go see it. They made a number that was even bigger sometimes, except less people saw the movie. Fantastic Four First Steps is going to climb. It's 28 on this list right now. But we're going to say that maybe they're going to be able to get up to 300 million. I don't actually think that they'll be able to get up quite that high. I think it's going to continue to be diminishing returns, unfortunately. But let's say, if we wanted to think about it in terms of it went up to 300. Well, if it went up to 300, Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, Thor Ragnarok, Iron Man 2, all beat it pretty good. We get into a place where it would be around number 22 on the list here. And let's see if there's anything that wouldn't be able to beat it with inflation added in. Okay, so at 22, it would be on the list 22. It would take the 22 spot, and it would have about 300 million, let's say, from the 200 it has right now. And Captain America the Winter Soldier came out in 2014, and it made 260. With that 260 with inflation, it would beat it. Doctor Strange made 232 in 2016. With that inflation, it would be pretty close, but I think it would probably beat it. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, 224 million. That came out in 2021. I don't think the inflation's enough to beat it there. So Fantastic Four, it would beat Shang-Chi by, 25 million or something like that. Ant-Man and the Wasp, 216. That came out in 2018. Again, I don't think the inflation would be quite enough to overtake that. It could get close to those Shang-Chi numbers, I think, or whatever. But I think Fantastic Four would probably stay ahead of that. And it's probably going to stay ahead of Quantumania, depending on how much it does. But it's around this range. It's around Shang-Chi numbers. It's around Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania numbers. Those are the Fantastic Four numbers, which really means like it's in the bottom 10. It's going to do the bottom 10 for all of the Marvel Universe movies. Like, I'm going to do an inflation. I think I'm going to do that just like for fun, for Captain America. For the Marvel movies in particular. Like, look at all of the movies, taking consideration inflation for every single one of the flicks, and see what the real list looks like. And mostly I want to do it because I want to see where have these last three movies gone. These are the most recent movies. 2023's Marvels, it is the single worst. 2021 Eternals, it's the best of the worst. It's the beginning of these things being not good. 2021, Black Widow, Thunderbolts, Captain America Brave New World, First Steps, Quantumania, Shang-Chi, Thor, Love, and Thunder. When a lot of these guys get in. And Thor, Love, and Thunder is one that does manage to, with granted, if you take it to inflation, a lot of the much better movies fly in front of it. It may be the tail end, the best of the worst of these groups. I'm just looking. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, they're both around the same time. See, that's one of the good ones that came out in this short period of time. Wakanda Forever. I think what I'm saying here, just in general, is that this is a game. It's a game of perception. Right now, Fantastic Four had come out, and it is in the lower echelons of all Marvel films ever released. Right now, Superman has come out, and it is on par with the other popular DC movies and Superman movies that have been released. Right now, Jurassic Park 7 is out, Jurassic World Rebirth, and it is doing markedly below the recent Jurassic World Rebirth remake. I'm reimagining or re-releasing. It's the least successful. So Jurassic Park and Marvel, least successful in their franchise. Superman, on par. Moderately successful. Somehow they managed to paint that as a failure and paint the ones that were more failures as successes. How do you do this? It's a clown world. It's a clown show. Smoke and mirrors. It's just what's going on in the moment, and they frame it whichever way they want to frame it. Hey guys, Superman is about on track. Fantastic Four and Jurassic World are going to do less good than we'd like them to. All right, well then we'll talk about it in the press about how the two that we know are doing less good than we'd like them to are dominating this other one that is on par with its predecessor. It's just a complete reversal of the reality that you guys are living in. Or, I mean, I guess the reality that us guys are living in becomes the reality that I just described when all is said and done. When we're just being fed or we're just being told how it all goes. I really find it so interesting because it's like the people who are excited to hear about the news is handed right to them. I tend to go slow. Like, I'm just listening, always paying attention to what's going on, what's the latest, what's the greatest, whatever. What are the numbers? I always look. So I'm not like necessarily like in a rush because the information will come to me. But for those people who want to hear it immediately, well, they know that you want to hear it immediately. And they're packaging that article to frame it exactly the way that they want you to remember it. And then you, my buddy Digger Mesh, you're going to call me and you're going to be like, yo, Fantastic Four is beating Superman, yo. Fucking Jurassic Park is eating into them superheroes. Superhero fatigue, but we still like dinosaurs, apparently. No, man, that's just the narrative. That's just the fucking story that they're painting on top of actual numbers, actual information, and the actual information tells a different story. I don't understand why they're choosing to go with whatever story they want to go with. And of course, I do understand it, because as we've talked about before, Dave Zaslav is considered an outsider. He's a white cis male. He's a white guy, a white straight guy, executive who's not from Hollywood. And he comes in and he puts in charge one of the talented people, which, the industry is supposed to, anoint their talented people. You can't give James Gunn all this power. He's somebody that people like. Hollywood hates that. They hate the people who people like, because then, they might have to listen to them on some level. They might have to do what they say, cater to them. Nobody wants the actors and the writers and the directors and the creative people to have power. That would be a mistake for the Tinseltown people. Meanwhile, Kevin Feige and Marvel, they've been playing ball. Jurassic Park, it's Universal, fucking too big to fail. They're not enraptured in these stupid arguments right now that essentially David Zaslav is dealing with for being some outside man trying to come in and fix the company so that it can be sold and whatnot. And that seems to be the case. Doesn't seem like he wants to be there for forever. Seems like he's trying to get this ship heading in the right direction so he can sell the company. And honestly, just to say that Man of Steel, Superman did as well as Man of Steel, I'd consider that a success. Especially considering the fact that they've been up here. The press has been trying to fucking ruin you and steal this freaking narrative and this conversation for so long. I mean, it's fucking nuts. The moral of the story is, don't trust the trades. Don't trust the headlines. Look at the details. Look at the nuance. Fantastic Four, Jurassic Jurassic World Rebirth, and Superman are contenders. They're all fighting for the same territory. That territory is considered pretty good by a lot of standards. I mean, like I said, looking at this just in terms of the DC extended universe, and Man of Steel and Superman are like they're pretty close. They're pretty close with each other. And then looking at the Marvel franchises, on whatever level, you might think that. Well, can I find my list of Marvel movies? Oh, here they are. Definitely Captain America didn't go over well or whatever. And definitely Thunderbolts went over well but didn't do so good. It did numbers underneath Captain America. Well, Fantastic Four is still going to be an echelon ahead of this. Right now it's at 201, but it's probably going to end up somewhere maybe 380 or 280 or 300. And internationally it's doing really good. And that's good. That's a new a new bar for Marvel that is, that they could deal with. And if they dealt with their movies in a better way where they weren't budgeting them so ridiculously and then setting themselves up for, just ridiculous amounts of profits that they have to make, if they were being just a little bit more scrupulous with their budgets, this could be great. This could be a great amount of money to make, and this Fantastic Four movie could be considered a big hit. And it honestly, if they weren't trying to sabotage Superman, I think they could have gotten the idea across that it was a hit. And I think you still could be having that conversation that on some level it was a hit, even though it's really tanking right now, it's dropping its numbers. But still, even with it dropping its numbers, I do think that it could go on to, be a slight upper echelon. Ant-Man and Quantumania numbers, I mean, it's that was when we saw Ant-Man and Quantumania, and that movie sucked, and we were hoping it was going to be good, and we still had some hope. Fantastic Four coming in beyond that is it's hopeful. That's really hopeful. And Jurassic Park is really the one here that I think probably should have got hit with some hey, buddy, diminishing returns. They keep putting in the same formula, and it's less and less and less every time. That's the one that probably should have looked badly, and instead it looked good. It looked like it still had a genre. It still had a cake to make, and Superman and Fantastic Four are getting hurt by it. And Superman's right next to it. Internationally, again, it's not doing great there, but Superman is beating it domestically just by a little bit. So it's fuck, man. If we do not start being more discerning customers and more discerning entertainment people where we understand what's going on, they're just going to keep this shit going. And really, it's going to take a while before we're so discerning as this isn't the case anymore. So be discerning, keep your fucking head swiveled on right and all that, and don't just believe every bit of press that all of these movies get. It's funny, speak of the devil, I got Digger hitting me. I said to him, interesting, the PR game going on right now. Superman has beaten FF and Jurassic Park domestically. JP is doing better internationally, but it's close, and Superman is 2 weeks behind and minus the holiday weekend opening. The trades are trying to make it look bad, so they're talking up the things around it, but it's doing very good, actually. Coordinated effort by the industry to kneecap David Zaslav. And Digger said, the constant fake news being produced on both sides mirrors politics. It's absurd. From actors to box office to inane fag nerd gossip, they are losing me. Watching Spider-Man swing practically in the classic costume in the way Andrew Garfield did has been more exciting. They're shooting in Glasgow. I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about the Spider-Man thing, maybe. Yeah, it's a total PR thing. It's the politics is very similar. It's everything that they do with politicians. The politicians are too big to fail. They've got to twist everything so the story is they're always right, they're always good, they're always perfect. Don't believe it. It's silly. And in some cases, you get situations like this where the industry is trying to tank Superman because they're not playing enough of the political games. And that's just so stupid. And it's just, you can speak with your dollar. Your dollar at the box office, it does mean something. I mean, me and my friends sometimes will be I don't want them to get my dollar. We're going to buy a ticket for something else. But you really can. And, that's why I've done as many shows talking about this as I have. I want you guys to see Superman. I want you guys to see Fantastic Four. I want you guys to see Jurassic Park 2, even. That was one of the picks that I did a few weeks back. I really liked it. And I'm happy with them at least trying to talk about that like it was a success. It was a success for me. Intellectually, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, there was a couple things that like the ending, which aren't great, but I enjoyed my film-going experience immensely. I love watching a good dinosaur movie, and this Jurassic Park Rebirth was one. And Superman and Fantastic Four, though maybe not my wildest dreams of what I'd want for one of those movies, and I am the type of person, I'm a professional writer who could write those kind of movies. I'm a much more discerning audience for that material, but still I enjoyed both of them, and still I was very happy to see hope and goodness on display in the box office, available for people to buy tickets to see. And I think that's important. So go out there, see all these movies, but use this conversation about this whole thing and the box office and like the article headlines and stuff just to demonstrate how much they fucking lie, and like they don't really care. They don't have any responsibility to tell you what truth is. They're just bending it into a conversation. So it's like, you think you have the news, like they framed it the way they wanted to frame it. They made up news and then they gave it to you. And the made up news says Superman's not doing so good, and then eventually said Fantastic Four is not doing so good, and then the whole time said Jurassic Park is doing so good, and Jurassic Park isn't really doing that good, and Fantastic Four is actually doing pretty good, and Superman's doing damn good. So what the fuck? You got the complete reverse news of the actual news. That's what we've had for the past fucking month. Bizarro world news. And I mean, it's like this all the time. Disney is constantly doing this. Everybody is constantly have had, over the past bunch of years, has had like a weird, middling, misunderstood idea that maybe Disney wasn't doing so good. On some level, practically, they knew Disney's not doing so good. But then, based on all the press and all the things, they're like, yeah, but they still made some money. Yeah, but it looks like they're doing... They're faking it. They're making you think that they're doing good, because they're failing and they don't want to look bad. And that's like the whole fucking PR game. We've talked about PR, public relations. I don't know if it was just on this show or if it was on my other show every Mondays, Everything They Don't Want You to Know. But public relations, fuck, man. Public relations, it's like a fucking industry that shouldn't exist. Just designed to like make all of your farts smell like potpourri. That's the idea. It's like, oh, that smells bad. Don't worry, PR, send in PR. PR will make it smell wonderful. No, because we like that smell now, because that's the smell of success. It's really just a ridiculous thing. So, I think this will be the last I talk about this whole conversation, this whole conversation, although I am considering doing that long list of the movies, looking at them with inflation, putting inflation into the numbers and getting a proper list of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I feel like that would be worth looking at. I may have to do that next week and deliver the numbers to you guys. In the meantime, I've got 2 Kickstarters that are up. They're not like, you can't buy into them yet, but you can sign up for notifications. One of them is you just type in Jesse Blaze Snider and it'll say it's a box set. It's not a box set. It's going to be for a single CD for this Solfeggio Healing Frequency album that I released a few months ago. I'm going to be releasing physical copies. They're going to be signed. There's going to be a whole bunch of like cool little like bonus things that we'll include with the whole thing. But I'm excited about that. Sign up for notifications on Kickstarter. And Sugar and Bones Magazine. Today I was talking to our cover artist, Lydia Burris. She's awesome. And we were just like getting on the same page about a couple things. Logo's almost done. Just like things are finally starting to come together for the magazine. And I'm excited about that. And then, a few months after I get these 2 off the ground, we'll be bringing in these hemp goblins and launching our hemp plastic initiative to get hemp to plastic made from hemp, made. I'm really excited. Yeah. And what else do I have? I got show every Monday. I've got the music show that is off of Spotify, but it's available everywhere else. It's called All Your Favorite Bands Suck. 55 of my favorite bands, and it's just me gushing about the best albums and the best songs, and playing songs for you, going, oh, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. If you're looking to get into some new bands, go scan all the names. You know, 55 different bands, some of my favorite bands, all different types of genres, rock and rap and ska and punk and country and everything. I'll come back to that show eventually, but in the meantime, keep it locked with everything they don't want you to know every Monday. Coolest Geek Alive every Wednesday, and again on Saturdays when I do my coolest picks. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the show, and I hope you'll join me again next Wednesday and this coming Saturday for another fucking awesome adventure of the Coolest Geek Alive. Love you guys. Peace out.
You've been listening to Coolest Geek Alive with me, your host, Jesse Blaze Snider. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more excellent geek culture content. Thanks for listening.
It's my favorite part. Isn't that heavy? I played that. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Coolest alive. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Stay with your tribe. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Revenge of the Geeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Week after weeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Laughing with you. It's gonna be fucking awesome. And crying sometimes too. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Spelling it out. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Making you shout. I'm a genius. I've got lyrics coming out my bum for days. You like that? It's a kazoo solo. I played that too. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Talking some shit. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Living your shit. My voice is fucking awesome. Food in our mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Get in the mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Tell all your friends. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Call right or text. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Raising the bar. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Straight to the stars. It's gonna be fucking awesome. It's starting soon. Straight to the top of the pops for this one. Passing the moon. It's gonna be fucking awesome. On with the show. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Ready, set, go. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Just wait. You'll see. You'll all see.
The podcast playground. Hooray!